History, please like, comment and subscribe my channel. With reference to the period of colonial rule in India, home charges formed an important part of the drain of wealth from India. Which of the following fund constituted home charges? Options are funds used to support the Indian office in London, funds used to pay salaries and pensions of British personnel engaged in India, funds used for waging wars outside India by the British. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Options are only 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. Right option is option number B, 1 and 2. Fund used to support the Indian office in London, funds used to pay salaries and pensions of British personnel engaged in India. Home charges referred to the expenditure incurred in England by the Secretary of State on behalf of Indian government. Home charges consisted of purchases of military stores, expenditure on India office establishment, interest on debt, interest on railway, capital investment, non-effective charges of the army, pensions and gratuities payable in England to retired civil servants of the company. So next question is, the staple commodities of export by the English East India Company from Bengal the middle of the 18th century were? Options are raw cotton, oil seeds and opium, sugar, salt, zinc and lead, copper, silver, gold, spices and tea, and cotton, silk, salt, factory and opium. Right option is option number D, cotton, silk, salt, factory and opium. By the late 17th century and early 18th century, Bengal had begun to emerge as an essential source of supply that the East India Company could purchase for sale in Europe. Goods purchased from Bengal included cotton, cloth, opium, salt, factory, sugar and silk. Next question is, the term imperial preference was applied to the options are special privileges on British imported in India, racial discriminations by the Britishers, subordination of Indian interest to that of the British. Preference was given to British political grants over Indian princes. Right option is option number A, special privileges on British imports in India. The term imperial preference was applied for special privileges on British imported in India. Based on of these privileges, nominal duty was paid on British imports in India, while India export paid high duty in Britain. So next question is, there was no independent development of industries in India during British rule because of the options are absence of heavy industries, scarcity of foreign capital, scarcity of natural resources, and preference of the rich to invest in land. Right option is option number D, preference of the rich to invest in land. During British rule, preference was given to invest in land by wealthy class is the reason for no independent development of industries. Next question is, economically one of the results of the British rule in India is the in the 19th century was the options are increase in the export of Indian handicraft, growth in the number of Indian owned factories, commercializations of Indian agriculture, a rapid increase in the urban population. Right option is option number C, commercialization of Indian agriculture. Commercialization of agriculture was the result of the British rule in India in the 19th century. Farmers were forced to grow cash crops which were imported to Great Britain as raw material of English factories. The period also saw decline in urban populations and destroyed domestic factories. India started producing crops for commercial use on a large scale. 19th century agriculture became commercial due to the use of modern agricultural equipment. The British rulers forced farmers to grow indigo and other cash crops which can be used as a raw material for British manufacturers. As a result, the urban population reduced and the domestic industries were destroyed. So next question is, which of the following statements correctly explain the impact of the industrial revolutions on India during the first half of the 19th century? Indian handicraft were ruined, machines were introduced in the Indian textile industries in large number, railway lines were laid in many parts of the country. Heavy duties were imposed on the import of British manufacturers. Right option is option number A. Indian handicrafts were ruined. During the first half of 19th century, British policies have turned India as exporter of raw materials and consumer of finished product. Also, because of industrial revolution in Britain, new machines were invested, which were used to make handicraft products, which were not just cheap but also of good quality, which led to downfall in demand of Indian handicraft products in domestic market too. Already they were unable to sell Indian goods at Britain because of high traffics. All this leads to ruins of Indian handicraft. Next question is, who introduced East Maradi settlement? Options are Wellesley, Warren Hastings, Lord Cornwallis, Lord Dufferin. Right option is option number C, Lord Cornwallis. The permanent settlement 1793 is introduced by Lord Cornwallis and also known as Permanent Settlement of Bengal, was an agreement between English East India Company and Bengali landlords to fix revenues to be raised from the land. It is also known as East Maradi, Jagirdari, Malgujari, and Viswayadari, etc. The permanent settlement of Bengal stood on the following features. It recognized the landlords as the properties of the land. It also recognized the rights of a hereditary successor of lawful successors of the landlords. The government believed that these landlords would remain faithful to the British. So next question is, given below are two statements. One is liberal as assertion and other is reasons. The British government introduced different land revenue system in different part of India. It led to create different classes in Indian peasantry. Select the correct answer from the code given below. Both A and R true are is correct explanation of A. British government followed different land revenue systems in different parts of India. This led this system were permanent settlement, Rayatwari and Mahalwari. Permanent settlement were introduced in Bengal, Bihar, Odisha and Varanasi of UP. Under this system, 19% area of entire British India were included. Rayatwari, approximately 51% area system was in Madras, some parts of Mumbai, England, Bengal, Assam, Coorg, Mahalwari. 30% area system were in UP, central provinces, Punjab. Hence, it is clear that because of these differences, different classes were created in Indian peasantry. So next question is, the permanent settlement was introduced by options are Lord Hastings, Lord Cornwallis, Lord Curzon, William Bentinck. B. Lord Cornwallis. Next question is, permanent settlement was made with options are landlords, peasants, workers, traders. Right option is option number A, landlords. The permanent settlement was made with options are jamidaris, village communities, mukaddamas, and peasants. Right option is option number A, jamidari. Next question is, which Governor General introduced the permanent land revenue system in India? Options are Lord John Shore, Lord Clive, Lord Cornwallis, Lord William Hastings. Right option is option number C, Lord Cornwallis. So next question is, permanent settlement of Lord Cornwallis was introduced in the year 1787, 1789 AD, 1790 AD, and